If this person or that person or that person or this person told you that they had sickle cell, what would your reaction be? Now, assuming that you did not watch my story time videos or this is your first time watching my YouTube video, you would be like, whoa, I had no idea. And you probably wouldn't have guessed that he or she had sickle cell. When I grew up as a young kid, nobody knew I had sickle cell. Whether that would be all my friends who I went to summer program with, or all the people I went to church with, or all the people I met at high school, or even the people I grew up in college with. Nobody knew I had sickle cell. Even my friends who I played basketball with, I would always get off the court a lot more than the average person, even during a basketball game, and tell them that I was too tired or that I was too fatigued and my asthma was acting up. And instead of telling them that I had sickle cell, I would just say I had asthma. That was probably the best opportunity for somebody to be perceptive enough to actually see that I might have had sickle cell. It was not until I shared my story on YouTube and Facebook that a lot of people started messaging me about sickle cell, and I got all types of messages, but the two most common messages I would say I got was, wow, your story is really inspiring. I always knew you as a hardworking kid and you did this and that and that. Or the other most common message I got was, wow, you have sickle cell? I thought all people with sickle cell had blah, or I thought all people with sickle cell did this and were sick, or couldn't afford to go to school because they were always sick or something, some type of negative stereotype. And I wasn't offended when people told me that. It just kind of showed me that a lot of people just don't know a lot about sickle cell, and that's okay. If you never had a parent or anyone in your family, or if you don't personally have sickle cell, I'm gonna be honest, why should you care? So after sharing my story about sickle cell, I was invited by Penn University to tell my story and explain to people how sickle cell personally affected me, and just educate freshman college students on sickle cell. As a young person with a doctorate degree in pharmacy, I guess they thought that I would be a very interesting person to speak about sickle cell because I understand it from a medical perspective, but I can also talk about it more on a personal level. So as I was telling my story to these young freshman students, I was getting real personal and explaining how sickle cell could psychologically affect somebody. It can really cause depression because people may feel lonely, may feel misunderstood. And that's not really just like a sickle cell thing. That's just like a human being experience. And a lot of people, unfortunately, feel misunderstood for whatever the reason may be. And after I kind of told my story and how it personally affected me, there was this one student in particular who came up to me and said something very striking. And that was, after hearing what you said about sickle cell and hearing your story, it started to make me think, I wonder if I know other people with sickle cell. I wonder if any of my friends or any of the people I know have sickle cell. And the kid was from the Dominican Republic, and he's from Latino origin. I told him it's very quite possible that you may know somebody who has sickle cell. And approximately 100,000 people in America have sickle cell. 1 out of 365 African Americans are born with sickle cell. And if you take it on a global level, about 300,000 people are born with sickle cell every year. And many of those places are concentrated in Africa and in India. Now, chances are you may know a person or two with sickle cell, but they chose to not tell you personally or never really disclose that information publicly because, quite frankly, it's a hard thing to do. I personally didn't want to share my story for the last 25 years of my life. So when somebody doesn't want to share such a thing, I completely understand. But the bigger point of this video is to just say, never judge a book by its cover, because, if you were looking at me and if I wasn't talking about sickle cell, you probably wouldn't have guessed I had it. Just like I have sickle cell, a lot of people who don't have sickle cell in general have their own personal issues, whether that be health issues or family issues or financial issues. And I just want to say, communicate instead of perhaps judging somebody or making ignorant statements because you don't necessarily understand where that person is coming from. You know, maybe we should take the time to say, hey, I wonder why he or she may feel like that, or what happened to that person to make him do this, that, or that. You know, if more people kind of had that more empathetic attitude towards people, I feel like the world would be a better place, and maybe more people like me would feel a lot more open to sharing their story. Anyways, thank you so much, Sickle Cell Warriors, for watching this video. If you like this video, please comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to answer. Please don't hesitate to ask. And once again, thank you so much for blessing me, and have a blessed day.